welcome back to the Wrestling Bubble. The day after Monday Night Raw. What a snooze fest. In fact, this video was inspired by the snooze fest that was Monday Night Raw, and trying to figure out, man, certain people always show up on Monday Night Raw or SmackDown, and then there's other people that are forgotten about, that are left behind, that don't get pushed. And then there's people that do get pushed. So we're going to break down who we feel needs a push, and then the people that we're left asking, why are they getting pushed? Why are they featured on TV so much? Where's the pop?
Let's start off with Karrion Kross. Speaking of pop, remember he did get a pop at WrestleMania 41. I think that's the only time they was loud,
I'll
right?
tell you what he recently popped. Merch sales.
Oh,
Number one merch seller.
better than Yeet.
Better than Yeet. Better than Mr. You Can't See Me. Better than CM Punk. Better than your favorites, okay? Yeah, the guy that gets like 1 minute backstage promo segments. Yeah, the guy that made his own documentary that got over like 300 something thousand views in like 24 hours or whatever.
And he's still not on TV?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, gosh.
The guy that is very creative, has a look, has a gimmick, character, can tell stories, has Scarlett right there by his side, who's also a wrestler, who also can cut promos, who also has a look, who also fits the entire gimmick, and seems to come up with the ideas that are not being pushed for Karrion Kross, because those ideas are a little too good, according to Karrion Kross from whoever he talked to backstage. But yeah. So Karrion Kross, what do you think about Karrion Kross?
I feel like Karrion Kross has really built up a strong character. I'm so glad they got rid of AOP because to me, they was just an anchor for what he was doing. Like when Karrion Kross first debut was NXT, and I like him then with the whole TikTok and everything. But now it's like, what are we doing here? You put Braun Breaker with an Intercontinental belt, didn't do nothing with it. Then you have Karrion Kross, which actually it's like he's bringing out the darkness out of people. Look what he did with the New Day. The New Day might be getting booed, but they get the ratings up. End of the day, everybody wants to see the New Day.
Yeah, Kross is like, he's like the devil not trying to hide what his intentions are.
Yeah,
He's out to corrupt, period.
pretty much. Like,
And it worked for the New Day. He every time he sees them in passing, he smiles to himself. He's like, "Yep, job well done."
they're tag team champs right now.
The greatest tag team champs.
They're more interesting than the War Raiders.
You know, sometimes we have to take a second to thank God
for the New Day.
Yeah, those
Regardless.
guys. So, yeah.
Speaking of limited time, we had Levesque Kaiser who was trying to quote unquote cut a promo on Monday Night Raw, but his got cut short.
Yeah, he got a whole 5 seconds worth of time backstage. I mean, it was literally as he was going to say something,
Jey Uso gets attacked.
they cut the camera, pan over to Jey Uso laying on the ground with Braun Breaker standing over him. So we didn't even get to see the attack, just like we didn't even get to hear one word from Ludwig Kaiser.
Another superstar that's getting screwed. I feel like he's just getting punished for tweeting out what Charlotte said to Tiffany Stratton. Like, why are we making wrestling come across personal at this point?
I don't know, because honestly, it's supposed to feel real. It's supposed to convince us that these people actually don't like us. And when they do things that lean in that direction and make us think, hey, maybe they don't really like each other for real. Well, I think we have something there, but when you take it away, well, it's, what do you want us to stop believing that people don't like each other in wrestling?
Exactly. That's why I don't like when some of these wrestlers be tweeting out that they're with their their enemy opponent in real life. It's like now you're just ruining the story.
Yeah, killing kayfabe.
Exactly. That's why I like when Drew does it. Drew stays in character on and off the camera.
Yeah, you have certain wrestlers these days that still try and keep kayfabe alive. MJF,
Dirty Dom.
Yeah, Dirty Dom, Drew McIntyre, Ricochet. I mean,
You
you
can
know,
keep going.
I
But I
wish
mean,
I wish more wrestlers would do that, and I honestly wish more wrestlers would just stay off of social media. I
exactly.
don't really like the access to these wrestlers and the fact that they actually do respond to people online. It kind of takes away from the mystique of the wrestlers. You know,
Hmm.
imagine growing up, uh, like seeing the Undertaker wrestle, come out with the druids and the fire and all of that stuff, the rolling of the eyeballs and all that.
Hmm.
Okay, only to turn around the next day and see him tweet about his dog, running in circles or something, or the love of his life or whatever, right? Like, you just completely humanized him. So now you just killed the whole mystique that the aura that he has around him by doing that. So I don't know, like, I'm sure it's never gonna happen, but it would be nice, like, for the wrestlers to stay off of social media in hopes of restoring some kind of kayfabe.
Exactly. But moving on from that, why isn't Ivy Nile not being pushed?
Hold on. We can't skip Carmelo Hayes.
And
Carmelo Hayes.
rest in peace, his wrestling career.
First of all, I knew once he went to SmackDown, the writing was on the wall because most of the acting and the backstage segments and the longer storylines are on Raw.
Yeah,
Most of the character driven stuff is on Raw.
he should have went to Raw
He really should have went to Raw.
because
Like, okay, this
SmackDown.
whole number one draft pick thing, that was cute and all, and it's actually better in a real, like actual competitive sports, not predetermined sports, entertainment. But yeah, he should have definitely went to Raw. I don't know, they completely dropped the ball on Carmelo Hayes. I get that his size, let's say he stands next to Braun Strowman or Drew McIntyre or Karrion Kross, or you know what I mean, these bigger guys. I get that. But at the same time, you had Axiom have a competitive 50-50 match with Gunther when they were in Spain recently, right? Leading up to WrestleMania. So somebody like Axiom, who was never NXT World Champ or nothing like that, he was a tag team champ with Nathan Frazier. You got Carmelo Hayes. What is he, like, two-time NXT World Champ,
And I think also
North
North
American
American
champ?
champ.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
accomplished a
and he
lot.
beat a lot of names.
And
Okay,
Braun Breaker. He
and he
beat Braun
actually
Breaker.
and he pretty much carried NXT from that 2.0 era.
Yeah, because everyone wanted to say Braun Breaker and him, but to me it was Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, so he carried NXT from 2.0 through WrestleMania 40, where the feud of Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes culminated.
Hmm.
One of the best stories ever told in WWE, whether it's NXT or main roster. Okay, which I hope maybe that's why he's in like a standby position and just
You
waiting
see
on
what
Trick
happened,
Williams to come
Williams?
up.
Yeah, because Trick tonight at NXT is supposed to have a contract signed with Joe Hendry. So we already know he's not gonna win. But I like the story. I like how Trick is actually revamp his character now. I love the attitude change that he's doing. And I really hope when he makes it to the main roster that they put him back with Carmelo Hayes.
Trick
And
Mellow Gang.
exactly, because it's always been the Trick Mello gang. You should have never broke him up in the first place. I understand why they did it. Just to see Trick, be on his own. But let's be honest, those two together was
Money.
awesome. You had
Money.
Trick hyping him up. You have Carmelo hyping him up. Let's go. Trick Mello gang.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. We need that on the main roster ASAP because, like, okay, what do we got? Judgment Day. Boring. I like Liv. I like Dominic. I like Carlito. The rest are boring. Okay, I like JD McDonough as far as like in ring, and he
Yeah.
does, facials and funny stuff in the back. But honestly, if he wasn't there, just like he wasn't, like, were we really missing him? Was it feeling awkward without JD? No. Okay, so yeah, Carmelo Hayes definitely needs a push. I mean, if the problem is size, why don't you, like, put him up against people his own size, let him dominate that, let him get some wins,
I mean,
talk his
even
trash, do what he does best, finesse everything with the matches and whatnot, make other people look good while he's whooping that ass.
and I know Jacob Fatu has the belt right now, but slowly give him a title. Like, let's see what he can do being United States
You don't
champion.
even have to just give him one. At least like put him in a situation where he's like got some upward trajectory to
Yeah.
where we can see him holding the title, to
Mm-hmm.
where the people almost demand it. But
That's
like
what I'm saying.
all
Yeah.
you're doing is putting him up in these matches where we just know he's gonna lose. He
Like
won the
Aleister
Andre the
Black,
battle royal.
Battleground,
Okay, for
just to
what?
lose
Just to have
against
a big
Aleister
chain,
Black.
look like a stereotypical rapper or something.
Dead.
Like this ain't the '80s no more. But yeah, let's move on past Carmelo Hayes. For I like that could really turn into a rant. Okay, so Ivy Nile for the women, right?
She
Ivy
should have beat
Nile,
Valkyria. I'm sorry.
yeah, she should have definitely beat Lyra
Because
Valkyria.
that Ivy Nile is great in the ring, great on promo. She has great charisma. Valkyria, not feeling it, Bird
She's got
Lady.
feathers.
That's it.
Woo!
No one cares.
Yeah, Ivy's got a whole look. Ivy looked like she'll beat your ass.
Like when
Okay,
she would beat up Dakota Kai just to get to like Lyra Valkyria,
right, which
and it's
led to nothing.
they should have actually hold off on it if you're just gonna let her lose anyway. Because Lyra, since she's been a champion, even with this whole Becky story, she's still boring to me. Not feeling it. The crowd's not feeling it. For God's sake, they still cheering Becky when she beat her up.
Yeah, exactly.
One more time. Do y'all know she's supposed to be a baby face? It's worse when the heel's getting cheered and the baby face get booed.
You know, with Lyra, it comes down to, you know how CM Punk last night said on Raw to Seth Rollins, of all people, you're just a song kid, but eventually the bell has to ring,
That's
right?
Lyra.
Okay, so Lyra is like in reverse. Eventually the match will be over and you'll have to talk to the people again. I mean, she's on the mic. I get it. She had a little time with Becky. She talked a little trash, whatever, and it was different because we haven't heard Lyra really talk trash before. But I
Right.
mean, I guess she was saving every last word that she had for Becky because up to this point, she's been champ for as long as I can remember, and nothing's been memorable about her title reign
No,
except for the match that she just had with Becky.
I didn't even like that match.
I
The
mean,
best
hell, she
match for
went to
me,
WrestleMania and that was forgettable.
I forgot she was in WrestleMania. I feel like her best match, honestly, was Ivy Nile. And I hope when Ivy Nile's done with this lucha thing and everything, they actually give her a slowly storyline where she actually wins the belt.
I don't even
Because
know why she's in a holding pattern, to be honest, because regardless of Chad Gable or American or El Grande Americano doing his whole lucha whatever, Ivy could still be doing her own thing too. I mean, the Creed brothers are sitting there competing for tag team titles now that they beat the War Raiders. And I don't know. I just feel like Ivy, there's something there if you were creative at all, like you can do something with her. I mean, for example, on our why are they getting a push? You got Zelina Vega, which is the current women's United States champion.
and the crowd goes
Mild,
there
okay?
we
Every time she
go.
comes out, it's crickets. All
Dead
right.
quick. I have never met a champion who comes out and not one reaction, not even a pop.
Yeah, you have
Who?
Bailey.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah, when she
forgot.
was champ.
That's why Bailey should have went heel instead of Becky.
And you know what? If she was never attacked or whatever and taken off screen, she'd be in the Y section too because she's been on TV way too much and she gets no reaction, etc. Okay, and she be beating people that she ain't got no business beating because let's face it, every match that Bailey has at least 5 botches in them. Okay, and it always looks so choreographed because they take forever stuttering before they do a move or hesitating and all that. Nah, if Bailey was healthy or on screen or whatever and hadn't gotten the tag, she'd definitely be in this Y section. She don't need no push at all. And that whole Becky versus Bailey thing, forget about it. We don't need to
Please.
see that.
We do not need to see that. We don't need to see two veterans, grandmas trying to fight again. It's time to push some younger talents and actually more interesting younger talents. Lyra, step to the side. If she's not getting a character change, why is she the champ?
Yeah. So moving on to the next person that needs a push. It's your boy L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, L.A. Knight, man, he look, from the time this dude came onto the main roster, he was disrespected with the maximum male models.
Yeah.
Okay, no, he overcame that, especially when Vince exited the company, right? But since then, he's been stuck in mid card purgatory, okay, fighting for a United States title because we're going to pretend like this dude didn't challenge Roman Reigns at some pay per view. Yeah, he lost, but he was right there amongst the main eventers where he should be. I mean, he's getting main event level pops. Not that the current main eventers are getting pops like that, but he's getting pops. Roman Reigns gets pops. Randy Orton's gets pops. CM Punk's get pops when he's in Chicago or someplace like that. Cody gets somewhat of a pop with his music.
Now he's getting boos.
Seth gets pops from the music.
Yep.
I mean, but everybody that I just named, they're all like what, at least in their 40s.
Yeah.
Okay,
so LA Knight's in his mid-30s, but still, it's like y'all wasting. Like when he won the United States belt, that was a terrible title reign for him. Like they didn't really put him in anything. It's like he was just a traditional.
He got the same title reign as Braun Breaker.
Yeah, pretty much.
They the same title reign that Lyra had up until Becky.
I feel like her title reign is still trash.
You have the belt and you're just holding it.
Exactly.
And I'm hoping that Dominic Mysterio doesn't end up doing the same thing.
No, as you see the crowds behind him.
Yeah, it's just a matter of the person with the pin back there booking.
So, don't want to be too stuck on that. We're gonna move on to another person that's supposed to be pushed. I would say Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, the Scottish psychopath.
It's like this man just signed a 3-year contract again with them, and I'm here thinking they're about to actually push him to main event, or they got him in mid card. Drew did a wonderful job at 2024. If it wasn't for him, I don't think CM Punk will be where he's at right now.
Nope.
For one, and two, he's like one of the biggest stars in social media. Like, hello, what are y'all doing? If y'all want to bring in the reviews, you got to book Drew better than this. Why is he still going against Damian Priest?
Now, Drew made me go back on what I said earlier about social media and wrestlers. Drew is one of those people, just like Ricochet, where they use their gimmick or their character online outside of wrestling, right? They keep kayfabe alive. He's talking so much trash, just like the person that you would see on TV do. Ricochet talks trash online just like he does on TV with that stupid laugh he does. Ha ha! Okay, he does that online. He's staying in character.
You have to.
Okay, so I mean, look, Drew is what, a multi-time WWE World Champ. He fought what, like Bobby Lashley, Roman Reigns,
Brock Lesnar.
Like come on, he was competing with the top guys. Now he's fighting for a United States Championship title. Why? He can't get none better than that.
Right now, I'm questioning why he resigned.
Right now, I'm questioning why he don't just go ahead and size up Jey Uso.
Because he's, well, hopefully.
Remember, he was that bloodline hunter, right?
Yeah, and then they cut that real quick. But hopefully, when they do this draft, he goes back to Raw. Because putting him on SmackDown really watered him down a lot. And I get why they put him on there, because they didn't really have nothing for Damian Priest. Because let's be honest, Damian Priest is boring.
That's
He's
why
another
I said,
person.
when I saw Carmelo Hayes was going to SmackDown, the writing was on the wall. Anytime they send somebody to SmackDown, Bianca Belair, they don't never have nothing for them to do. Nope. She went to SmackDown, then they sent Jade over there. And she was stuck with Jade for what, like the last 2 years or whatever?
That's why I hope Bianca turns heel. It's like, Jade holds you back. Be on Team Naomi. She's right. Jade is just, what is she? What she said, leech?
Look,
Pawn,
I know you got to
acre.
proceed with caution, but Naomi over there, that's all I'm saying. Go ahead and link up with her.
So.
But, just like Naomi, right? Naomi's over there cooking on SmackDown, okay? Doing some great character work, heel work, etc., right? What's Tiffany Stratton doing?
Nothing.
All this Tiffy time.
It's starting to get
you taking
Tiffy
up
dry.
so much time on TV, doing a whole bunch of nothing, and you the women's champ over there. But you ain't holding nobody's attention.
Not really. Once it's Tiffy time, the crowd just stops talking.
Look, it need to be Naomi time for real.
Once she's done with this Jay storyline, yeah.
I wouldn't even care if it was like Naomi takes the belt off Tiffany or something like that, and then Tiffany chase and like where she actually earns a title, or the people really legit get behind her, not just for a little catchphrase, Tiffy time. No, they need to get behind her because they can see that she's working her ass off and she's like going through these different opponents and etc. over a coming anniversary. And you know, Naomi, the type of work she's doing, Naomi's gonna give her plenty of stuff to work with. Okay, they could tell a great story. What? Naomi was the first person that Tiffany beat when she came to the main roster.
Yeah, because I think Tiffany beat her once.
And then you
then
turn
Naomi kept
around
beating
and the
her.
first L that Tiffany had was from Naomi.
Hmm.
So we were like, okay, 50-50 booking. Okay, there's somewhat of a story there. The first person that she lost to, as far as lost her title or whatever, Naomi, came back. Revenge is bittersweet, etc. I mean, I don't know. There's something you could tell there. It could just start off by however Naomi takes the title off of Tiffany, and then you just go from there. You know, she don't have to beat her clean. I don't want her to beat her clean. Like whatever Naomi does, it needs to always be dirty. Proceed with caution because you don't know what she's capable of.
I agree. Speaking of beating someone dirty, remember now I see the War Raiders trying to go back for the belt for the New Day.
Oh,
That's pretty much how I feel about that too. Why are we pushing the War Raiders again?
who looking for the War Raiders?
Nobody.
Like I did like Ivar when he was by himself and Eric was still out with injury, and I like when they had the Viking Raiders gimmick with like their look was good. It was serviceable, right? You can market that for toys and whatever, right? There was something there. Then they switched to the War Raiders and I'm like, man, like y'all literally just embrace being jobbers right then.
Speaking of jobbers, I'm tired of seeing DIY on my screen.
I mean, how are they getting pushed?
Exactly. Speaking of tiny, they're tinier than Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah. Just let that sink in. I mean, speaking of another tiny team, Fraxium.
Motor City Machine Guns. Another tag team that gets no reaction. The only time now I will say they did a great job in the TLC match, but that doesn't mean I still want a title on them.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I get that they're the older tag team that can like help the young guys have good matches and showcase their talents, etc. Listen, if that's their position in the company, great. I got no problem with that. Let's
Yeah.
not push them like they're world beaters or anything, though. Okay,
Yeah, don't
this is not
force
the
it.
Hardy Boys in like 2001 or nothing like that. These are past their prime, older guys. I mean, there's no real gimmick there. There's just a bunch of flashy moves, you know, and let's just keep it as such. Uh yeah, War Raiders, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns. Their tag teams, great, because we need a tag team division. But as
Mhm.
far as a push, let's not act like they're not jobbers, okay? Let's
Not
not act like
believable.
they all come out and they're getting these gigantic pops or anything like that. Nobody really cares, okay? Let's cut it out with the pushes.
Yeah, right now it just feels like it's forced on us to keep seeing them on the screen, winning the bell, putting it. It's almost like what they did with Roman when he first was trying to go babyface. Well, he didn't want to, but Vince was trying to make it happen.
Yeah, but I don't know. Vince was past his prime, and you know, just I don't know what he was doing
Just like we don't know what Triple H is doing.
at all. Okay, so I don't know if you guys agree with us about any of these people that are need pushes, or we question why are they getting pushed. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know if we left any important names off this list. Um, and if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like the video, hit that thumbs up. And you got anything to say to people?
Make sure you click on the notification bell because as we're going to be also doing an NXT review tonight also.
You don't want to miss it. And also, we will be going live very soon. Everything's coming together as far as that goes. And
Once again, thank you for tuning in for TWB.
we're out.